All right, it's 6:30.
Recording in progress.
Are we online? Ready to go? Okay, it's 6:30, so we will begin. Good evening, everyone. This is the City of Fairway, Kansas. It is Monday, October 14th, 2024, 6:30 p.m. It is our monthly City Council meeting. I'd like to call the meeting to order. I have two announcements. One, David Watkins, Councilperson David Watkins is participating via phone. He is on the road from California. Drive safely, David. I hope he's still there. He is? Okay. The other announcement is items C and D under new business are being removed from the agenda. We will discuss those in November. Rich, do you have anything to add to that?
No, this is just a routine code update, but we just need a little more time to review the changes. So,
Okay, we will look at those next month. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have two proclamations this evening. The first one is Indigenous Peoples Day, and I would like to read that. Whereas the City of Fairway recognizes that the indigenous peoples of the lands that would later become known as the Americas have occupied these lands since time immemorial. And whereas the City of Fairway recognizes that Fairway is built upon the homelands of indigenous peoples, and whereas Fairway, Kansas is home to the Shawnee Indian Mission State Historical Site, which was placed in the National Register for Historic Places in 1968. Whereas the City of Fairway values the many contributions made to this area through indigenous peoples' intellectual, spiritual, and the deep cultural contributions that have enhanced the character of the City of Fairway. And whereas the idea of Indigenous Peoples Day was first proposed in 1977 by a delegation of Native nations to the United Nations. And now, therefore, I, Melanie Hepperly, Mayor of the City of Fairway, Kansas, do hereby proclaim Monday, October 14th, 2024, as Indigenous Peoples Day in the City of Fairway and urge citizens to reflect upon the culturally diverse struggles of indigenous people on this land. The second proclamation is for National First Responders Day. Whereas first responders, including public works professionals, firefighters, police officers, emergency medical technicians, 911 operators, paramedics, and other emergency personnel stand on the front lines of our communities, selflessly serving and protecting the citizens of Fairway, Kansas in times of crisis. And whereas first responders respond swiftly and courageously to emergencies, often putting their own lives at risk to ensure the safety and well-being of others, whether in natural disasters, accidents, medical emergencies, or public health and safety threats. And whereas it is the public interest for the citizens, civic leaders, and children in Fairway, Kansas to gain knowledge of and maintain an ongoing interest and understanding of the importance of public works and other first responders' efforts in their respective communities. And whereas the year 2024 marks the 6th annual National First Responders Day, sponsored by bipartisan resolutions in the U.S. Senate and House, be it now therefore resolved, I, Melanie Hepperly, Mayor of the City of Fairway, Kansas, do hereby designate October 28th, 2024 as National First Responders Day. I urge all citizens to join with representatives of the American Public Works Association and government agencies in activities, events, and ceremonies paying tribute to our public works first responders alongside law enforcement, firefighters, paramedics, emergency medical technicians, 911 operators, and other emergency personnel to recognize the substantial contributions they make to protecting our national health, safety, and advancing the quality of life for all. Dated this 14th day of October, 2024. All right, next on the agenda is the monthly reports of the standing committees. The Fire Chief Chick from the Consolidated Fire District Number 2 presents his report quarterly. So this is not one of those times, so we will see. I think he's here next month. I think. Yeah, that would be right. So we will move on to administration and finance. Nathan?
Thank you, Mayor. I will generally let the report stand and just acknowledge that there were 2 contracts that I signed this month. One was for our physical capacity testing for new employees, and the other was our annual disclosure compliance services proposal from Gilmore and Bell for all of our bond documentation that we're required to submit every year. I do want to point out 2 things. You can see on the end of the agenda in big red letters, next month, the second Monday of the month falls on Veterans Day, which is a federal holiday, and per our code, the City Council will then meet on the following day. So the November City Council meeting will be on November 12th, Tuesday, 6:30, same time right here in the council chambers. And then the other thing, just to remind you of last week, I did send an email to the governing body. If there is any interest in attending the Northeast Johnson County Chamber Gala, please respond to me by November 5th so that I can RSVP on behalf of the governing body. And I have received responses from some of you, so you're good. But if there's anybody else, again, November 5th is that deadline. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions regarding the admin report.
Are there any questions for Nathan? Jenna?
Hi Nathan, Jenna Brofsky, Ward 4. On the restricted declarations, because I did get an outreach from...
Jenna, can you move into your mic?
Yeah, I got an outreach from a Ward 4 resident. Can we, I know the county has on there the instructions for individuals. Can we put that on our website as well?
We can create a link to it.
Or something like that?
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, Jerry?
Jerry Williams, Ward 2. Just a special thank you to Nathan for following up, and I know it was more work than we expected on the restrictive declarations with all the research. I think we got to a good place, and people are actually taking action to follow up on that, so I appreciate the follow-up, Nathan.
Sure.
Anyone else? All right. Well, we'll move on to the chief.
Mayor,
Yes.
do you want to hear about finances?
Well, sure.
Okay. Not much to
Chief.
report there. Finances are good. Sales tax came in at about $230,000, which was well above budget. We do have, tracking where we were at last year in terms of general city finances, we're in a stronger position than we were at the same time last year, but we're continuing that trend. I would just mention, I think in my last look at our sales tax, we're down about 4% from where we were at same time last year, so it's really pretty negligible in terms of, we talked about sort of leveling off at this point. We'll see where we go for the rest of the year, but certainly what we're seeing so far is that it's a manageable adjustment that we'll have to make in terms of budgeting moving forward. I'm happy to answer any questions about finances. I will start now for the October Administration and Finance Committee meeting, start projecting end-of-year transfers and that sort of thing for the committee to consider at that time.
Any questions for Nathan on finance? Thank you, Nathan. Sorry. I can't believe of all of them. That's what I missed. Okay, Chief, you're up.
Mayor and Council, before I start my report, I'd like to ask Gary Skimper and his wife to come up with me for a pinning, and family. His beautiful family is here with us also. I'd like to give you a little bit of background about Gary. He is a Air Force veteran. He's been deployed overseas. He started his police career in 2007 in Hawaii. From there, he went to other agencies to include Roland Park and Shawnee, and now he is here. In Shawnee, he was selected for some special assignments, and he also received a life-saving award there. Here, he's received the Exemplary Service Award, and met and exceeded all of our standards at the department, which, as all of you know, are very, very high. With that being said, his work ethic and attention to detail is phenomenal. He's one of our firearms instructors and has led the department in activities since he's been here. We have recently had the opportunity to promote a sergeant, and Gary was selected as that individual. So with that being said, I'd like to introduce Sergeant Skimper to the council, and his wife Nikki will be pinning his collar. Thank you. I'm going to return to my seat and complete my report from there.
Sergeant Skimper, congratulations. We are very, very proud to have you on our as one of our staff in the police department, and we are very proud of all of our officers, and I know you've worked very hard for this, and congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you. And to my report, I just want to mention some things. We dealt with a number of stolen autos, recovered some stolens, and we also had a stolen auto last month that was used in numerous crimes throughout the metro. We assisted Prairie Village with a pursuit that they had that entered our city, and assisted in the apprehension of an individual that was wanted in reference to their crime that they had in their city. We did have that instance, I think I mentioned it at the last meeting, where an individual was suspected of pulling a firearm on Shawnee Mission Parkway at another driver. We have contacted that individual and conducted an investigation and moved forward with any charging on that was necessary. Other than that, just we continue to see violent crime throughout the metro, and your officers are out there being very vigilant in reference to that. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for the chief from council? Thank you, Chief. Public Works, Bill?
Thank you. Mayor. I will let my report stand as submitted as well. I would like to point out one thing. In early September, we had an employee who had been with us for about 7 years finally hang it up and retire. His retirement gift was something I did not even know that existed. He wanted a clock that told the days, not the time, but the days. He just wanted to be able to remember when to put the trash out. So if you knew John and his long speech he gave in his retirement party, which I believe it, and I quote, was, "Thanks, it's been fun," pretty much sums up John. But that gave us the opportunity for the first time in 7 years to actually hire someone. We usually stay pretty well full, but we actually opened up the application process, and we just hired Giovanni Rosales from Merriam. He started on the 30th of September, and at some point I'll bring him before the governing body so everyone can meet him, but he's fitting in fine and helped set up the Shawnee Indian Mission Festival this weekend and did a very good job, so we're very happy to have him on board. And I'd be happy to answer any questions that anyone has.
Any questions for Bill? Jenna?
Hi, Bill. Can you just remind me what's going on Row and how long that project will be, and if that's a CARS project?
That is a CARS project. They started milling today. They're going to mill, I believe, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And they plan on starting to pave on Thursday. They plan on closing the road on Friday while school is out to take advantage of that, and paving on Saturday, and hopefully have it all wrapped up and I believe striping on Monday. We sent out notification via Constant Contact late last week.
Yep, thank you very much.
Anyone else? That's it, Bill. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Parks and Rec, Bryce?
Yep, thanks, Mayor. I'll let my report stand as submitted. I would like to mention we had several things going on this last weekend with Jennifer out at the Shawnee Indian Mission for the Fall Festival that the foundation ran. And Jennifer is on a well-needed vacation in New York right now, so she's resting up, hopefully right now, putting a lot of time and effort there. And we have finally wrapped up the 75th anniversary events as of this last weekend. I asked my staff to double their output for special events this year, and they answered the call, and they did very well. So if you see Renee or Jackson, please give them kudos as well. They did a wonderful job on top of everything else they're already doing. I would like to mention with my report, I put the Fairway Pool report in there, which is a deep dive into something, into the Fairway Pool that we've never done before in my time here. And it really goes into the intricacies of what we look like financially, staff-wise, all of our time out there, and it really paints a really good picture about what is actually happening. We did have a 70% cost recovery rate this year, which is the highest it's ever been since I've been here. And so we're functioning at a very, very, very high level right now. So I just wanted to note that. We plan on doing that going forward, just to kind of have a better idea of what is actually happening out there. And then finally, our landscaping project, the bids, we're still getting those in, but we're hoping to wrap that up here, the bidding process shortly, and start on that before the end of the year. So we should have some new landscaping out at Peterson Park and the Fairway Pool here shortly. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Bryce, and may I say congratulations on the 70% cost recovery. That is outstanding.
Thank you.
And Nathan started us on that runway, but you have really taken it to another level, and we really, really appreciate that.
Thank you.
And for those of you in the audience, if a city recovers 50% of their costs, they're fortunate. So with Fairway recovering 70%, that's fantastic. So thank you. Any questions?
Just a comment.
Oh, go ahead, Jerry.
Jerry Williams, Ward 2, and I already mentioned this, but the pool report was outstanding. The most detailed report
Is that online?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let's put that, but no, let's put it online.
Yeah, somebody put a lot of work into that. I suspect
That was
it
Bryce.
Bill,
Really
but
That was Bryce.
Really well done.
Yeah.
it was well done. Thank you for that.
Anyone else? Lee?
Lee Story, Ward 1. I also wanted to congratulate you, Bryce, and your team and others who were involved in all of the 75th anniversary programs, and in particular the one that was this weekend, which was fantastic. It was a terrific band, and I think people had a lot of fun, and you guys did a really nice job, so thank you for that. Second, I want to echo what Jerry said about the pool report. Fantastic work. Really appreciate it. You can see all the time you put into it. 2 questions about the pool report. I know that our attendance is down a little bit, and there's some really good reasons for that, and our swim team attendance is down a little bit. My question is, where we are now, are those comfortable levels where the crowd size is manageable and folks are happy, but it's not too big, too small, or is there room for improvement? And I know on the swim team we'd like the more the merrier, but are we fielding a competitive team?
Yeah.
Or is there something else we need to do?
For the swim team, I think we're seeing that trend metro-wide with swim team just not having quite as many members, especially on the recreation side. The more competitive ones, you'll see a little bit more. But we have a competitive league, but it's not as if that's the year-round leagues that we're facing, around the area. So we're seeing a decline there metro-wide, and we also did have an older group last year, so some of those phased out, and some of them are actually coaching for us this year. So we have a few retention there. But then with the daily attendance, I think we were within 800, 500, something like that. I think we saw the ceiling at 2021, where we had council members and residents giving their feedback about how busy it was, and it was too busy. And I think we've recessed a little bit into a comfortable spot. And in that report, you'll see kind of a graph that I put charted with the attendance. And you'll see if we didn't have that 2020 dip and the 2021 incline, we are kind of on a steady rise. So I think we are very comfortable with where we're at now. The one item that isn't quite there is kids camp, because it's been so big and it's been so popular. So as we get closer to hopefully adding more room for them, that'll be great. But I think as far as the daily attendance, I think we're in a really good groove right now. I don't think I heard any complaints about deck space or finding a chair or anything this year. So that hasn't happened for a couple of years.
That's terrific. Again, great work, and thank you.
Thanks.
Anyone else? Yeah, Jenna?
I know we have driveway trick or treat coming up. Is the deadline passed for that, or can folks still sign up?
Yeah, unfortunately, that was today. We have about
I
100.
signed up.
Oh, okay, well,
I'm just asking if friends did not.
yeah, no, we have about 150 people registered, which is close to 80 some homes in Fairway. So we'll be making the trek around, avoiding Row, but making the trek around the Fairway this Saturday.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Bryce. All right, monthly reports of the special committees, tree board.
No report.
The meeting scheduled for the 30th.
And I think it's at noon, right, Bill?
I believe so. Hang on
Yeah,
one
At
second.
City Hall. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, next is public comment for consent agenda items only. I will read those into the record. A, approve minutes of the previous regular city council meeting. B, approve claims and appropriations, ordinance number 1813, September 2024. These items are determined to be routine enough to be acted on in a single motion. However, this does not preclude discussion. If a council member requests, an item may be removed from the consent agenda for further consideration in separate motion. First of all, is there anyone in the audience here or online who would like to make public comment about the consent agenda items? I don't see any hands raised online, Nathan. Okay, and no one here. Council, does anyone want to remove either of those? Is there a motion?
Mayor, Jerry Williams, Ward 2, I move that we approve items A and B on the consent agenda.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve both items on the consent agenda. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Passes unanimously. New business. Under new business, we will entertain public comment after each individual item. Item A, consider Planning Commission recommendation regarding a signed deviation of 4210 Shawnee Mission Parkway. Nathan?
You saw in the packet, this is just a for sale sign. The owners of the 4210 project are wanting to sell the piece of property that was not included in the development. It is a part of the TIF district that was established. It did not count toward their green space requirements when they were going to Planning Commission for approval of the overall project. They're at a point now where they are ready to market that. I believe it's close to 2/3 of an acre site for some sort of retail or commercial development. All of the criteria would be subject to the conditions of the TIF agreement, as well as our additional development codes within the city of Fairway. So because of all of the activity going on there, they've requested a sign that exceeds the size permitted under our code. Planning Commission did recommend to the governing body approval of the request.
All right. Any discussion on the part of council? Yeah, Joe?
Joe Levin, Ward 3. Nathan, this is not directly about the sign, but as I see it, that area is a detention pond.
Actually, it's not the detention pond. It is on the north side of the access road within the office park.
Oh,
It just,
okay.
right now, it's being used primarily for staging for construction. And I can't, in my mind, visualize it being 2/3 of an acre, but on paper it is. It just doesn't seem like that big of a parcel to me, but it is, the retention basin is unaffected by this.
So the sign is probably not near where the property is then?
The
Sign's
sign,
very close to Shawnee Mission Parkway as I see the map.
so the sign for the for sale sign will be on the lot itself. It will, yeah. And it'll actually be, at this point, and I assume they're going to move some of the construction fence because it would be within the construction fencing that is currently there. So they've got to figure that out, but that's their responsibility.
Thanks.
Jenna?
Jenna, Nathan, you kind of mentioned or answered this, but if it's part of the TIF, does that mean even the building requirements, like that they have to build in a sustainable way, does that apply to whoever purchases the land?
Defer to Rich on that.
Yeah, Rich Cook, City Attorney, yes, it does.
Fantastic, thank you.
And the revenues would be captured by the property.
Is it working okay? Because Jenna, you're hard to hear.
I mean, is
Can you
there any way we can mute David? I mean, this is killing me.
Hoping we didn't just mute everyone. Did we? I think we did.
I'm still here,
Bill's still there. Okay.
for what it's worth.
It's worth a lot, Bill. Are we back on? Okay, maybe you should pull, there, thank you. Lift it up, yes.
Testing.
Oh, much better.
Okay.
Yes, now we
But-
can hear you.
Okay.
Any other discussion concerning the sign that is being requested? Dan?
I guess my only question, and we won't know this for sure, are they going to request any more deviations, do you think?
I would not think to this lot. I would point out that this is a one-year limit. So the Planning Commission restricted this approval. The recommendation is only for 1 year. So that's what you all would be approving. So if after we get to 10 months down the road and if they've still not sold it, I'd imagine they're going to request an extension.
It just seems like this is just one deviation after another with them.
And-
where I don't think we would grant a deviation to a resident for a larger for sale sign.
So this comes a little bit different in terms of the development code and where where the request is coming from as a part of development. This would not be, and frankly, the code was written so that they would have to continue to get reapprovals from both the PC and the governing body as a way to make sure that these signs don't stay out there forever. So it seems like a lot that they have to keep coming back to the Planning Commission and City Council, but that's by design.
Any other discussion, council? Okay, I will open it to the floor for public comment. Anyone in the audience wish to make a comment? Nope. Nathan online? All right, we'll close public comment, and I will entertain a motion for item A.
Mayor, I propose that we approve the recommendation for this deviation for the sign.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approved the deviation regarding the sign at 4210 Shawnee Mission Parkway. All those in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Passes unanimously. New business item B, consider the interlocal agreement for 2025 Mission Road Cars project. Bill?
Thank you, Mayor. This is a standard cooperative agreement between the cities of Fairway, Roland Park, and Westwood on design for their much larger project, of which we have 0.1% of the project. It's over a $2 million project, and we have about $25,000 out of pocket into it. Roland Park is the lead. Larkin is designing, or Lamper Nearson, excuse me, is designing it, and we're agreeing that they can do that, and we will pay them once the project is complete.
All right.
This is also the design portion. We will have another interlocal agreement to approve next year once the county funding comes around, and the county will provide us with that.
Okay. Any questions or discussion on the part of council? Bill, I don't see anything. I will open it for public comment. Anyone in the audience or online wish to comment on this item? Nathan, anyone? Because I don't see it anymore. Okay. All right. Is there a motion?
Lee Story, Mayor, I move that we approve item B, consider ILA for 2025 Mission Road Cars project.
For a second? Been moved and seconded that we approve the interlocal agreement for the 2025 Mission Road Cars project. All those in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Passes unanimously. Okay, moving on to the governing body comment section. During this time, members of the governing body will be given the opportunity to speak about matters related to the city. No formal action will be taken during this time. Does anyone have anything? Oh, me, sorry.
Two quick things. One, I wanted to also congratulate everybody who was part of the Shawnee Mission Festival and the Night at the Mission. Both of those events were just fantastic, and it's the second annual Night at the Mission. If you haven't been to that, I would encourage you to go. You learn a lot about the history of the building and of the tribes, and I thought it just was a nice way to show the partnership between the city and the other entities that are involved in the Shawnee Indian Mission. So particularly well done, and thanks again to everybody who had a part in it. Two, I wanted to thank particularly you, Nathan, for the work you did on the poop stations. I'm already getting a lot of feedback on how great they are, and I can tell you, in our ward at least, Kellyanne and our ward, they're being used. I mean, they're already very popular, and so well done.
Anyone else? Kellyanne.
I wanted to thank all the participants when we had our Ward 1 meeting last month, Lee and I, and it was the first time we've had one, and the first time I've had one since I've been a city council member. Tried to get that organized before, but it never happened.
We used to have them.
You used to?
Yes,
Yeah,
when I
okay.
was on city council.
Many moons ago?
Yes.
Okay, but now we're having them again, and it was
that's a
really
good thing.
successful. It is. And the mayor came, 'cause since she's a Ward 1 citizen. And I want to thank everyone who came, and especially Lee for being a great partner for Ward 1. I'm really, really grateful, and I'm grateful to Nathan and to Bryce. Thank you for letting us have it here and being supportive. Also, JP, I'm just really grateful, and I just want to say how grateful I am to the city for everybody, for what everyone does. And just have to say it because that's how I feel. But thank you so much.
Jerry?
Well, now that you put that out there about Ward 1, and I did come to that session, it was outstanding. I think we're going to follow you on Ward 2.
Sounds like a plan.
Not that I'm competitive.
All right, that closes the governing body comment section. And I'll open for the final item on the agenda, public comment for any items not listed on the agenda. Anyone in the audience? No? Nathan? All right, we'll close public comment, and I'll ask for a motion for adjournment.
To adjourn?
Yay! We are adjourned.
Wow.
Yeah.
Effort time.